we're going to do something that we haven't done yet, which is let the candidates introduce themselves. We'll start with Patrick Benner. Please, Patrick, tell us about yourself.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Pat Benner. I've been living in Apple Valley now for about 6 years. Moved here with my wife, Ashley. We now have a beautiful 2-year-old daughter, Ada. We're very excited to have her grow up here in Apple Valley. We have a really awesome school district and also some pretty awesome neighbors. My job, my profession, is working for AFSCME Council 5. We are a labor union that represents public employees, and my job is to get our members plugged in at the state capitol, actually working directly with Representative Hewitt and Representative Bierman to pass pro-worker legislation. And I'd just like to bring some of that down here to Apple Valley.
Councilmember Ruth Grendahl.
Thank you. Thank you to the Chamber once again for holding this forum, because it's just wonderful for the community to hear all of our views. Ruth Grendahl, I've lived in Apple Valley since 1988, along with Councilmember Goodwin. Both of us have masters in public administration. I have undergraduate degrees in urban and regional planning and in political science. My BA and BS are interchangeable, and I try not to use BS with the political science side of it. I think for those of you who know me, I'm a straight shooter. Currently, Tom was here 40 years. I've been here 27 years on the city council. So I guess I'm kind of the newbie. Just kidding. But the two of us always kept active in representing this city on the state, not just locally, but on the state and federal level. And currently, I chair the National League of Cities Energy, Environment, and Natural Resources Committee. I also serve on, I was asked this year to also be one of 13 people across the country to serve on the leadership for the National League of Cities Nominating Committee, and I'm on the board of directors there. I have a very diverse background. I've served as a board of directors for the Minnesota State Colleges and Universities, where I was the elected vice chair. We were at the 4th of July parade one year, and there was a GEARS, for the Metropolitan Transportation Grants, which no longer exists. It was CTIB and GEARS. And Councilmember Goodwin came up and said, you have to run for this position. It's the most important one could represent the city. So I was elected from all of the cities in Dakota County to serve on the, to review metropolitan transportation grants. I also chaired the Minnesota Livable Community Advisory Committee for 5 years. Being chair doesn't mean you get grants, but it means that you understand the grant process and can have a better chance of receiving. And the first year I think I was there, we received the money for the splash pad at Kelly Park. So anyway, I'm staying active and continuing to do new things and representing this city. Thank you.
Lisa Hiebert.
First, I'd like to just say thank you to the Chamber and Bogarts for hosting the candidate forum today. My name is Lisa Hiebert, and I have lived in Apple Valley for over 21 years with my husband, Chris, raising our son, Ryan, who is a senior this year in high school. I believe I'm a strong candidate for City Council because I'm a skilled collaborator who can bring people and businesses together to solve problems and improve our community. I'm currently the chair of the Apple Valley Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee, which I have proudly served on for 5 years. And I'm really proud and ecstatic that had a hand in helping to plan and do the research to present the voters and the residents of Apple Valley with the Parks Bond referendum that they passed, and we now have $73 million to improve our parks and facilities in Apple Valley. In addition to serving my Apple Valley community, I know firsthand how cities must work with the residents and businesses to get things done. I do it every day in my role as the Public Information Officer and Public Services Manager for the City of St. Paul Public Works Department. I am looking forward to combining my volunteer and my professional experience in a new way as hopefully City Council member to serve my community here in Apple Valley. Thanks.
John Rechtzigel.
Well, thanks again, Chamber and Bogarts. Great venue here as always. My name is John Rechtzigel. Married to my wife Carol for 30 plus years. We raised 2 children here in Apple Valley. They attended 196 schools, and we were very pleased with their experience here. All in all, been very happy with our entire experience here in the South Metro. A little bit about my background from education. I was a career law enforcement officer. I went to Inver Hills Community College, obtained an associate's degree, I went back to school and have a bachelor's from Concordia University. Later, achieved a master's degree with the University of St. Thomas. I also attended the FBI National Academy, Session 227, while I was employed with the City of Apple Valley. My background is working in local government. I've had a lot of experience interfacing with our city council. I've worked collaboratively with all levels of government, especially around Dakota County, but at a state and somewhat at a federal level. I can get into more of that with you later. Just looking forward to the opportunity to serve, or continue to serve this community. And I don't have an axe to grind. I've been very happy with the way Apple Valley has been run. Our council's done a fantastic job. I learned that Tom Goodwin was not seeking re-election. I thought, oh, that's an opportunity. I'm gonna put my name on the ballot there. Public safety, public works, and parks are safe with me. I'm gonna make sure we keep them strong. Thank you.
I'm glad you brought up Tom Goodwin. Tom has served us well. I'm going to ask a question that Tom has asked at a number of these events. Why would anybody want this job? I'm going to bounce around a little bit and pass my questions out to, so there'll be no specific order, so just relax and I'll call on you. Pat, what do you see the biggest challenges facing Apple Valley for the next 20 years?
So I think the challenges that we are facing over the next 20 years is probably just progressing towards a more urban environment. We don't have too much space left in Apple Valley with which to develop. And a lot of cities can struggle when growth stops. So I think that we should probably be targeting some more creative uses for zoning. Perhaps looking at combining residential and commercial real estate so we can get housing on top of some of our businesses, which is not a particularly new idea. It seems to work well in Rosemount and Burnsville, but it could just be a way where we can tackle crippling housing unaffordability as well as possibly make transit and sustainability all baked into the plan. And make Apple Valley just a little bit more livable for folks like my daughter when she graduates from Eastview.
Lisa, the world is changing and people are working from their homes and it's becoming more common. What can the city do to improve internet speeds, safe delivery services, and office services?
Thank you. I think, again, people are working from home, and we do have people going back to the office, and really we are in a hybrid work environment. So I think maintaining that flexibility, I do think that there's a lot of options, and we don't have a lot of options here in Apple Valley for our choices for how we're served with our internet, and I just think that there is more opportunities for people to definitely explore that. I think also making sure that there is spaces for people to do a lot of business and networking. We have great restaurants, we have great coffee shops, we have great businesses. We don't have a lot of good community spaces or business networking areas. I think that that is an opportunity to allow people to get out of their homes as well and network and connect with businesses and other people as well.
Councilmember Grendahl, what do you see what's your vision and the needs of Apple Valley over the next 10 years?
I think one of the biggest issues we're facing right now is the PFAS chemical contamination in our water, and it could cost Apple Valley $60 million, and this is one of the issues that we've been dealing with on the federal advocacy level. I have my name on letters to U.S. senators. I don't even know who they are. I'm asking to have a limited liability for the cities because we are not the ones who caused the problem, and we're the ones that are having to clean it up. And right now we're doing a study of what it's going to cost us here in Apple Valley. So I think that's going to be a long-term issue of how we clean up the water situation. We have had several wells that we've had to close due to contamination. So I think that's probably one of the biggest issues, our water quality.
Thank you. John Rechtzigel, the city of Minneapolis has just hired the first police officers that were not citizens of the United States. As Apple Valley becomes more diverse, will you support non-citizens working for the Apple Valley Police Department?
Sure, if they pass the background and if they meet the training criteria. always want to be able to reach out to different segments of your community, and if you have somebody that's previously or still is a member of that community, you can be far more effective with your communication and getting the facts and information you need out there for just crime prevention or in an investigation. So yes.
Pat, have you ever attended a city council meeting?
I've only watched them online. I've not attended in person, I'm afraid to admit.
Okay, thank you. And Pat, what skills do you possess that will make you a good city council member?
Like I mentioned, I work for AFSCME Council 5 as a legislative representative. My job is to make government work for working people. So I have extensive experience in getting bills through a committee process, running through a committee like hearing, just, abiding by Robert's rules and Masons and that kind of thing, and understanding what motions are proper and what aren't, as well as just having a passion for a lot of different issue areas where I think there is some work that has been left undone over the last few years. My background really is getting regular working class people into the Capitol to navigate really challenging bureaucracies and difficult scheduling issues and just making them feel heard by their government, which I know a lot of folks really struggle with.
Thank you. John Rechtzigel, what should Apple Valley do to provide better job opportunities and fairly priced housing for its residents?
The better job opportunities, I think you get behind your small businesses. I've seen development through the years here in Apple Valley with some of these business campuses. Do whatever you can to help with the zoning and with the developers coming in and producing those products. Or if the small businesses succeed, so does your city, so does your society. The second part, I'm sorry, I'm blanking that.
Fair price housing.
Fair price housing. That's a tough nut to crack because the land values are so high. So with new constructions, it's very difficult to meet that price point. Currently, though, we do partner with the county for housing. So if people are in need of housing assistance, they can receive vouchers, which will help go toward the rent. As far as purchasing homes, there have been some creative programs in other suburbs. I know Northern Dakota County had some type of programs where they'd help first-time home buyers. Would like to see or look into doing something that like that with city staff. Also, maybe look at some type of a grant program if we could get funds available to help people remodel or upgrade existing housing, because we do have housing stock that is aging out in Apple Valley and is in need of some attention. Thank you.
Councilmember Grendahl, what kind of process do you go through when you look at the budget, the increase in taxes that are necessary to keep the city running? What kind of steps do you take personally?
Well, I have to laugh because when we came in here today, Councilmember Goodwin said he wanted to do a letter to the editor in support of me, and it was going to be one line, tight with a buck. Like I say, my education is in public administration, and I spend quite a bit of time on our budget going through it, and I ask a lot of questions. Sometimes I'm not sure if they're welcome. But we actually did zero-based budgeting with the police department many years ago, and I know it's a lot of work, and I'm not suggesting we do that with all departments, but I really think that we should always start kind of at zero and start working up what's working and what isn't, instead of always saying, this is our budget, let's add to it. So I guess it's just scrutiny of the budget.
Great, thank you. Lisa Hiebert, what's your solution to make Apple Valley a safer place to live, work, and play?
I love Apple Valley, and I think we do have a great place that we can live, work, and play in. It is a safe community, and really appreciate the good work of our police and fire that do keep us safe every day. I think making sure that we are, one, working together with them. I know that they do a great job of getting out and educating and working with the residents and the businesses and providing those services. And I think that's first and foremost key, that we keep that going and that dialogue. The second thing is also making sure that they do have the right resources, training, and support to continue to serve and protect and make our communities as safe as it can be. And whether that's, making sure that they've got some tools, Narcan, things like that are really important to address all the different changes and issues that we could face, and that they're ready for it.
Councilmember Grendahl, we've just built a new fire station. We've got a police station coming on board. Where's the money coming from? How are we buying these things?
The money's coming from bonding, and everybody will be expecting with the Parks referendum and some of the infrastructure needs that I think our taxes have been very low in comparison to most cities in the metropolitan area. And we are going to have to be bonding for some much needed infrastructure in Apple Valley. So it's going to be bonding.
Thank you.
That was a question?
Yes.
Where's it coming from?
Yep,
Bonding.
Yep, good.
Can I say one more thing?
Sure.
The good news is that Apple Valley, we have 2 AAA bond ratings with Moody's Investors and S&P Global Rating. And so once again in August, it was reaffirmed with our AAA bonding rating, which helps with what we pay for the bonding dollars. So it does save taxpayers' dollars, that we do have ample reserves and things that these national rating organizations find us to be. I guess they reaffirmed to my saying we have strong financial management practices and an ability to maintain stable financial operations. So we do have challenges ahead of us.
Thank you. So, John, based on that, we do in Apple Valley pay some of the lowest taxes in the county. Are there services we're not getting as a community?
I don't believe so. I would just like to point out, though, with your tax bill, and I'm very aware of how the budget works, by the way, many years of experience in that area. But with Apple Valley, you actually get a little bit more than a lot of other cities. You don't get assessed for your roads. They come through to rebuild your road, reconstruct that, and put in new sewer and water. You don't get an assessment for that. That is included in the general budget. I think a lot of people miss that point. That's a big deal. If I get elected, I'm going to make sure that does not go away. As far as the public safety area, we are fantastic, and it's not about numbers. With police officers and fire, it's about quality. You hire top shelf people, you train them well, and you equip them well. That's how we operate in Apple Valley. We're not the biggest numbers-wise, but we have a very professional staff.
Good, thank you. Lisa, what skills do you possess that would make you a good council member?
First and foremost, I am a collaborator. I'm a people person. I love community building, and I love Apple Valley. As I am really proud, again, that I have been serving in Apple Valley on the Parks and Rec Advisory Committee, and also, again, working in a city. I believe that I do have a unique set of skills that I use every day to bring residents and businesses together. And I am not afraid to ask the tough, important questions, do my research, and actively gather input from our residents and businesses. And again, the key, I think, is collaborating and communicating with people to address the current concerns and needs that they have, so we can all work together to improve our community now, but also I think it's really important to be planning for the future and what those needs and challenges might be.
John, the city's draw is sometimes measured by its restaurants, entertainment, nightlife. Do you feel Apple Valley's done enough to bring and support the food and beverage providers, such as brew pubs, nightlife entertainment?
I think we stand up favorably, but I'd like to see more. I'd like to see us become a destination. There's a lot of travel in around the South Metro area, especially you get just north of the river, and if we can draw people down here. I know we have some attractions like the zoo. We do have some good restaurants around here, but let's encourage more of that. If we had a brew pub or two, that wouldn't hurt either. Always like to see additional businesses in town and keep people here that live here, spending their entertainment dollars here, but also draw people from outside.
Great, thank you. Pat, are there services that we're not getting in the community because we're not spending enough at the city level?
Well, I'm actually really more concerned about the public employees that we have here in Apple Valley. They actually presented to the city council talking about how their family health insurance has become unaffordable. And I believe this is also an issue that is affecting our law enforcement officers. It's a situation where some of these guys are losing $1,000 a month out of their paychecks to have their spouse and their children be covered on a okay health insurance product. It's a situation where many of them feel like it is about time to leave. because they simply are looking for someone who will treat them a bit more respectfully and recognize that they want to be able to have their families on this public health insurance option. So it's an area where I think it wouldn't take too much money, but we might be able to really make a difference in these guys' lives.
Councilmember Grendahl, what's your favorite places in the city to spend time?
Does that mean we're advertising for a certain business?
Sure. Bogarts?
Oh, we love Bogarts.
Okay.
I don't know. That's probably the toughest question. And I spend a lot of time in the city. One of the things I like about the city is in a half hour I can be to 2 banks, Target, Walgreens, and be home, because we're a nice square city. As I think of the favorite place, I suppose I could say City Hall. No. I do enjoy our parks. I mean, I enjoy our parks, and I spend a lot of time.
Great. We're going to take this time now to let you do a closing statement, and we're going to send you off as candidates for City Council. And we'll begin at this end here. John Rechtzigel, tell us why you want to be on the City Council.
Well, I started working here as a patrol officer in 1987, concluded my career in 2022. So that's about 35 years. Worked through the ranks. I've worked with the citizens of Apple Valley throughout that time. As a patrol officer, I was interacting with people, not always in a pleasant way, but you have to know the community quite well, know every nook and cranny of this town. And then as I advanced through the ranks, you got to know people at different levels, including interacting with some of the folks here, a lot of the business people. So I love the community, called home, raised our kids here, I said that already. I love the school district, I love the parks. I wish I had Ruth's question there. We spend a lot of time in Lebanon Hills. Now, not all of that's in Apple Valley, but really do enjoy the park systems, and we have a couple of gorgeous parks right here that belong to Apple Valley. So it's a great place to live. I've got it in my brochure too. Keep it a great place for a community. Let's keep it that way. It's a great place. Keep it great for youth, working families, and seniors. And one other thing, I am a team player. I know how to work with others and collaborate on things. I have a great deal of experience, especially in the emergency management area. When the chips are down, I've been there and I've done it. You know what it was like going through COVID and the civil unrest. I was in a leadership position. I don't say I did everything, but I worked well with other team members, and we accomplished a great deal during that time, especially here in Apple Valley. So I was proud to be part of that. I think I still have more to give. Thanks.
Thank you. Lisa Hiebert?
Thank you. Again, thank you to the Chamber and Bogarts for hosting us in this forum. Again, I really want to keep Apple Valley as the city of choice for people to, first and foremost, live here, work here, do business here, recreate, and enjoy all the amenities that we have in Apple Valley. And to do that, we keep the basics, and we work with you as residents and businesses to get the job done of making sure that we are building and maintaining our public infrastructure. We're keeping a very safe community for all, that we're stewarding our wonderful investment in our parks, our facilities, and our programs. And we continue to foster that economic growth and development. We keep growing and, again, making people wanting to choose to do business and own businesses here in Apple Valley. And we do that by leading those community conversations with you and for you. So again, I look forward to working with you, our businesses, our residents, and working for you, with you, so that we can strengthen our community here in Apple Valley. For more information for me, is available on my website at votelisahiebert.com, and I hope to earn your vote and support by November 5th.
Councilmember Ruth Grendahl.
Thank you. Sometimes we're referred to, when people talk to me, instead of Apple Valley, they call us Happy Valley. We find residents and businesses that are pleased on the path that we're on, and so I would like to be reelected to keep us on the path that we are on. Earlier, we saw races that are partisan races. We worked very hard on the City Council to be nonpartisan. We work together very well. We might have a few shouting matches behind closed doors, but when we come together for the good of the community. So I guess I'd like to keep us on the path, and one of our biggest goals is to keep our bond rating. So those are some of my goals of wanting to be reelected. So thank you.
Thank you. Pat Benner.
All right. Well, first off, thank you to the Chamber of Commerce, for Mr. Katerlick, and for Bogarts for putting this together. This is a really awesome resource that you've set up here. I also want to thank my wife Ashley, my dad, and everyone else that's here just for supporting all of us. Running for office is really effing hard. So the support means a lot. I wanted to get more involved in our local politics because I have an amazing set of neighbors, and they made it clear to me from the moment I moved in that what they were building was a community, and they were going to work at it, and we have. So staying in close contact, hanging out pretty much every week, that is work. And I want to bring that spirit of working to build community here to Apple Valley because it really is a unique place. It's something I have not experienced anywhere else that I've lived. I think I would make a good addition to the city council because, since 2018, I've worked with union members and empowered them to pass laws that have changed their lives. Expanding unemployment insurance to K-12 workers, getting paid family medical leave to nearly every worker in the state of Minnesota, fixing our roads and bridges, making it harder for HMOs to profit off of our illnesses, making college more affordable at our public universities, and saving mental health and addiction medicine facilities in greater Minnesota, which I worked proudly with Republicans to do. It's a thing that I might be young, but I'm no newbie to government. And I've heard quite a bit at the doors that there's a desire to keep our city moving forward and to not be afraid to be a little bit bold, but also compassionate. I am definitely a collaborator. I want to work with Councilmember Grendahl or Ms. Hiebert or Mr. Rechtzigel and everyone else on the city council to keep Apple Valley a stupendous place to live, but also to get some things done that have been stuck for a little while. That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you. These are your candidates for City Council of Apple Valley. Again, Pat Benner, Councilmember Ruth Grendahl, Lisa Hiebert, John Rechtzigel. Vote for 2 in November. Thank you.